Hey guys, Jamie here from Real Steel. Today's project, we're actually out in the garage. We are going to start on the little RV 360 we're revisiting. We're going to get some stuff tore down on it. We're going to clean some stuff up. And we're going to throw it back together with a few upgrades. Because this is going into a little project truck I have out there. So let's get started. All right, as you can see, we've got the little RV 360 all on a stand. What we're going to do is we're going to start from front and work our way back. We got to strip the front timing cover off, valve covers, intake, oil pan, freeze plugs, brackets, etc., etc. Basically, we're going to clean this thing up and we're going to change some parts out. We're going to upgrade a few things. We've got a double roller timing chain set in it. And we're just going to basically reseal it. Valve covers, I've got better valve covers. I'm not going to run these. I've got a better intake, and I alluded to that in my other video. Sorry, things are a little messy here, but yeah, we're going to plop this bad boy on there. That's our 4-barrel intake. I think it's off an 89. I cleaned it up, sprayed it, as best I could. It's not going to be great. This is going to be a driver type of build, so it does not have to be perfect. So yeah, you can see I've got some gaskets and stuff over there and a little bit of my drink over there. So yeah, and then on another video, we're going to convert that thing to a longtail shaft for the build. Oh, and there's the valve covers. I kind of stripped them down off camera. I kind of do that stuff off camera, cleaning and painting, because it's kind of a stress reliever, It's something about just, for me, using wire brushes and stuff like that, just cleaning stuff up. It's a stress reliever. So anyway, back to this. I think I'm going to set y'all up on the laps. Before I do, I will let you know I did drain the block and the oil. So I'm not going to torch y'all with weak bladders, hearing that stuff drain. But yeah, but the reason you want to drain the block is on these small block Mopars is this hole. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get y'all in focus. This hole, this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole, as well as one, kind of can't see it. It's back behind the fuel pump there. Let me get that bracket out of my way. There's a wet one there. So if you don't drain your block, you're going to be draining coolant out of those holes. And plus, I'm going to be putting new freeze plugs in it anyway. So that's the direction we're going to go. And also, some of these bolts can be a bear to get out. Because aluminum and steel, well, they're not best of friends. They're kind of mortal enemies, and they'll corrode each other and fight to get out. And if you break one, do not try to pry this stuff off. Do not try to pry the cover off or anything. You'll end up tearing out an ear of your block and make your block junk. Ask me how I know. So, as you can see, we got the mobile workbench set up. So let's get our camera set up, and let's get started. All right, y'all. We got the front pulled off. A couple things were a bear. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and pull this damper off. Now, you don't want to beat this thing off. You'll ruin it. So I've got a puller here, and I hope these bolts are just long enough. If not, I might have to go. Yeah, they should work. So what we'll do here is we'll bolt this little puller on here. And you'll note I put crankshaft bolt in. That is because I'd want the puller in to bear on that. so I don't gall the threads up in the inside of the crankshaft. If I do that, well, I'm going to have a bad day. So yeah, hopefully this is deep enough. Yep, it'll work. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to get this as centered as possible. Sorry for all the noise. We got some wind and it's blowing my tarps around. But what we'll do here is we'll get that tightened. And let me get a wrench. Oh, and before I put the bolt back in, I pull the washer off just because. And then the damper will clear it, as you can see. I would use my impact, but I don't have a forward function. Busted switch, but it's an old cheapo, so I do what I can. All right. And here's a better view of that wet bolt that I was talking about. That one right there is wet. Fortunately, I didn't have to fight too many of them. What I had to fight was a hose clamp because somebody put a hose clamp on the bypass hose backwards, completely backwards. There's like no way to get it. And then the upper clamp stripped out. So yeah, that was fun. And the pulley was a two-piece pulley, as I didn't know it. And I went to get something to get the lower pulley off, and or the outer pulley off, and it just fell off. So, that, and we evicted some spiders. So that's good. You can see we're getting this damper off of here. A balancer. This is, now on a 360, these things, some of them have an external weight on there, and some of them have this balance cut out. But yeah, you can't use a 318 balancer on a 360 unless you've got it internally balanced. Same with the torque converter. But we got that bad boy out. Let's go ahead and finish pulling the timing cover off real quick. If I got the right sockets, which I do, or I should. Having trouble finding stuff when it's right in front of my face. Now there are 2 bolts under the oil pan you've got to get out before you can get the cover out. And the bad part about those is they've got these little teats that hold the oil pan front gasket in, and if they get dried out, you've got to maneuver around them pretty good, and that can be a pet bear. But that's okay, we're replacing all that. So yeah, bear with me a minute. Oh, come here, ratchet. Yeah, let's see here if I can get this one around it. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Oh, come on. Get on there. You know you want to. Oh, come on, buddy. Help me understand what's wrong. There we go. Dried up teats. Never a good thing. Now, this is the family channel, so knock that thought off. All right, now we've got this bolt, and this bolt to take care of. And they're not usually as bad as the water pump bolts because those bolts go in through 2 layers, thick layers of aluminum. These are pretty thin. All right, got him out. And get this one out. And again, it's going to be dry because I drained the block before I started. Yep, you can see a little bit of moisture on that bolt right there, I think. All right, let's get this bad boy out. Yeah, I did hammer on the water pump a little bit, but that's because I'm not saving it. All right. But I don't want to do that with this cover because I'm saving this cover. Normally, I'd have another cover prepped and ready to go, but I don't have another one offhand. All right, might as well pull the dipstick too. These things never come out. These will never come out. You will usually break them, but on this one, it did. Huh. I just felt bad for the guy from I Do Cars. He usually has to fight them, and I didn't. So, yeah, guess that's a good thing. Let's get something and knock this cover off. A little pry bar action maybe. Bump it from the back. I don't want to beat on the surface because that'll mar the surface up. gentle. And there she is. Don't look terrible. Yeah. Let me see here. I'll see if I can get you. Boy, that timing chain's got a mile of slack in it. That's why we're doing this. And let me get you in here real quick. Just a second. All right. Got you on just the hand so it may shake. Yeah, this timing chain's got a mile of slack in it. And see this little gear here? This is an aluminum gear. And this is a plastic coating. Now, Joe GM did this, and Mopar did this. What they did was they put this coating on this aluminum gear to try to quiet it down. But what does happen is this stuff, now I got lucky with this one, but this stuff will harden up, get brittle, and flake off, and it can go into your oil pan and clog your pickup tube. So yeah, you won't get oil pressure. And then what happens when it's bare enough, the gear can just wear to where the timing chain will slip. And I've had that happen before too. Now, yes, these are a non-interference engine, meaning the valve shouldn't hit the pistons, but I've had a couple instances where they have. So yeah, you want to be vigilant about these. The best thing you can do is if you've got one and you know it hasn't never been replaced, replace it with the double roller. Now, you can put a steel gear single roller in there, and I've done that before on one of my engines. But what happens is within 6 months, it had like not this much slack, but it had about half that slack. So yeah, those things don't wear very good. And your best bet, like I say, is a double roller timing chain, as long as you can swing it. But otherwise, other than the exterior of the motor, the interior motor looks pretty good, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. Mixing words here today. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to continue. We'll go ahead and go up top here. I'll lapse y'all again. We'll get the valve covers off here, get the intake off, distributor off, and we'll see what we're working with. Now, I did take an air blower and blew this off, but if there is some debris get in there, I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to be flipping it over and cleaning it up anyway. So let's get started on this other stuff. All right, y'all, man, this thing looks really freaking clean. I mean, wow. The dirt you see that's in there is stuff that kind of came off from the valve covers and stuff. But as I said, I'm not 100% worried about that. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and it'll get sprayed with brake clean and all that. So, yeah, I even take a vacuum cleaner to it. But, yeah, man, that looks super awesome. Heck, yeah, I can't be mad at that. This ought to be a good one. Intake ports look good. There's no rust that I can see. Yeah, valley's super clean. Yeah, I like that. Let's go over here and look at this. Yeah, man, that is awesome. That is totally awesome. I was not expecting that. Yeah, that's a pleasant surprise. Somebody took care of this one. So yeah, some little piece of debris or something. And there's our friend, the oil canister from the last video. We fought the one off that truck. Oh, yeah, I'll have to pull it out. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use a gauge or the one I'm building. So, yeah, I think what's next is we'll go ahead and bounce the oil pan off of there. We'll knock the mounts off. I'll go ahead and do some of the other side work since I really don't have a good way to get the camera over there. So I'll pull that manifold off and that mount on that side, and we'll get over on this side. We'll get the pan off and see what she looks like. So let's keep going. All right, y'all. I went ahead and got the manifold and stuff off the other side. Wasn't too terrible to do. Seemed pretty straightforward. Let's get these motor mounts off of here. Yeah, now I did find the other side motor mount was torqued to like 500 foot-pounds. So, oh, yeah, that one came loose. Hopefully they come loose. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use these or not. I'm pretty sure that they'll work on the truck, but not 100%. Yes, this thing's going in a truck, but not the blue truck. I'll reveal that when we get the motor and tranny all prepped up. Motor and transmission, that is. Get out of there. Well, get out of there. Okay. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it clean, but I'm not 100% worried because I'm going to degrease the inside of this thing and all that. So let's see. Okay, well, he wasn't bad. The other side I had to use a breaker bar on. That was a nightmare. There you go. I need one of them little rolly carts, them little plastic rolly carts. You seen the prices of those things, though? Man, those are getting out of hand as well. It's like a lot of stuff. Even the cheap ones are out of my price range right now. Okay, get on there. Oh, yeah, good. Well, I don't know why they tighten the other side for 500 foot-pounds. This side's coming right off with a half-inch ratchet. There we go. Come on. There. I went ahead and also took the other side oil pan bolts loose, so we'll just do that real quick as well. Go ahead and put our bolts, our nuts and bolts back in this so we don't lose them. Like I say, we may reuse these, we may not. Let's see what happens. Now the hardware I'll probably reuse, regardless of where this goes, but... Alright, put this over in our save pile. I'll go get the ratchet. And we'll get the oil pan bolts off. Just a second here. Alright, here we go. Now you won't be able to see me doing them exactly, but hey. These aren't too bad. You usually get these with a quarter drive, because these are not supposed to be torqued to the moon. Otherwise, you'll bend your oil pan flange. Leak City. Yeah, this one was leaking from somewhere, but I'm not sure if it was the pan or the valve covers. Come on, baby. All right. Yep, I got them. Okay, you must have some schmutz on you. There we go. All this will get a good bath, wire brush, whatever, brake clean before I put it all together. I just got to remind myself that I'm building a driver, not a Barrett Jackson quality show car. So it don't got to be perfect, just decent. I say I painted up my motor that I put back in the 86 driver, and man, it didn't stay clean too long. Maybe a year or two, and boy, she's dirty. So if you're going to drive them, best thing you can do is not worry about a perfect paint job, because they're going to get dirty and they're going to get scratched. Ever since I started watching YouTube channels, I've learned that it's often best to just not make them perfect. Just get them good enough where you can enjoy them. You know, I could spend all this time and make it perfect, but I'd have my truck out or my car or whatever for years and years and years. I'd have it down, making it perfect, and then I wouldn't want to drive it. And that to me is no fun. I like to be able to drive my stuff. Not worry about a ding or a dent here or whatever. You know, it sucks, but it does happen. You know, that is life. Trailer cleaning shows, that ain't my forte. I'm gonna slam one of these back in here so this thing don't just go flying to the ground. Get back in there. You know, come on. Now, what is your problem? There. There we go. All right. Okay, I think we got just one more. Luckily on the 360s with these pans, you don't got to worry about those little teats on the back like you do the front. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. She's ready to come off there. All right, let's see what we're dealing with. Ratchet falling. That's all right. Hey, that don't look bad. That don't look bad at all. I'm gonna let that set right there and let it drip. That don't look bad at all, y'all. Heck no. Would you stay right there? Well, lean forward if you have to. That don't look terrible. From what I can see, things look pretty good. I mean, there's not a lot of sludge. There's a little bit of sludge in the bottom, but not enough really to be concerned with. Of course, you got to remember, this motor's been setting for years and years. So, yeah. Well, that makes me happy. Oh, all right. I'll get picked up here. Running out of shop towels, y'all. Well, them ones lasted pretty good, the off-brand ones, but yeah, I don't know that I'd do that again. Let's get up there and we'll get kind of down on our hands and knees and we'll have a look here. I'm going to flip this, just not right now. I want to get everything pulled apart on it first. So let's see here. Y'all are getting the first look as I am. No, that ain't bad at all, guys and gals. That ain't bad at all. Man, that's good looking. Heck yeah. We can work with that. They obviously took care of it and changed their oil. Like I say, there's a little bit of sludge in the corner, but this motor's been setting for years, so yeah, I think we'll be okay on that. I like it. I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, y'all, before I finish for the day, let's go ahead and get this timing chain out of here. Go ahead and spin her over, and the bolt's still pretty loose. Well, that's okay. Go ahead and spin it over, line it up, line the marks up. It's not overly critical, but yeah, we'll go ahead and line it all marks up and take it down. Anyway, that bolt still had a ways to go. That's what I thought, but that's okay. There we go. Got compression. That ain't bad. Leaking a little bit, but of course, once you run it, things will. I don't think it's terrible. What we'll do is this cam's got a little triangle on it. Should have spark plugs. We'll line it up with the little dot on the crank here. It ain't got to be perfect because this timing chain is, as you can see, too dead. But there it is. Here, let me show you here. Yeah. See that little triangle right there? That's got to match that little dot right there. And yeah. As long as I get it close, I can feel comfortable enough taking it apart. Oh, come on. Yeah. Now, we're not going to go any farther than this as far as teardown goes. I see no real reason to pull the heads at this point because everything looks good. And when I spun this motor over, it had even compression. This is your fuel pump eccentric. That goes on under this little washer here. So, yeah, you don't want to lose that. I've got a bunch of them kicking around. Let's set him up there. All right. Now, you're going to play nice. Okay, so you'll want to slide these guys off kind of together, or you may not get them off. But yeah. All right, we got that bad boy. Throw him in the junk pile. Let me show you this gear here. Now, this is what I'm talking about with this plastic coating. You can see this nylon plastic coating on here. We got lucky on this one because it's not like chunking off, but this stuff will wear and it will chunk off and it will clog your pickup tube, which is that little dongle hanging down right there. That'll clog that up and boom, there goes your oil pressure. Not to mention it'll slack up your timing chain real bad and cause all sorts of run issues, including skipping time. Yeah, ask me how I know. But anyway, I just thought I'd go ahead and just show you all that. Boy, it's amazing how messy a feller's workbench can get. Workbench being used loosely, my mobile workbench. But yeah, aside from my tools here, this side here is my keep pile. And this side here is my junk pile, including that intake. I'm not going to run that. Yeah. Now, if you're new to this, don't go throwing your bolts in a pile like this, okay? Get a bolster. They sell these things called a little bolster. You can put your bolts in it in order to where they go. Or get some kind of marking system or something like that. Don't just throw them in a pile. Me, I've had 20 years of working on this stuff, so I kind of know where things go and where things don't go. So I'm good enough that I can do that. But for a newbie, no, that is a big no-no. But anyway, I just thought I'd touch on that. Sorry, more camera issues. All right, y'all. I'd say we made some pretty dadgum good progress on this video. Had a few pleasant surprises as well. So yeah, we got her all tore down and we found she was cleaner than I expected in the inside, which is good, you know, so that'll work. But I wasn't gonna do this, I think, but because of the video length, I'm just gonna split it up into 2 videos. I'm not gonna show the cleaning or anything. I wanna kind of do that on my own. So yeah, but anyway, this is Jamie from Real Steel Auto Works, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side. See ya!